What in the world are NFL players doing gambling on games? Did they not learn anything from the year-long suspension of Calvin Ridley? 6 NFL players this offseason now have varying length suspensions ranging from 6 games to indefinite. 2 players, Stanley Berryhill and 2022 Lions first-round pick Jamison Williams, were given 6-game suspensions for betting on college games while at team facilities or with the team. CJ Moore, Quintez Cephas, Shaka Toney, and now Isaiah Rodgers are all suspended indefinitely. Each indefinite suspension will most likely be a minimum of a season and potentially more severe. With the exception of Williams, due to his draft capital and potential, all these players have put their careers and futures in jeopardy. Isaiah Rodgers is the most recent suspension for gambling, with the NFL conducting an investigation, learning that Rodgers placed hundreds of bets ranging from $25 to $50 that included NFL games. Rodgers was even creative enough to use another name on the account than his own, but the NFL still found out. They are going to find you. What are you guys doing? The NFL's gambling policy prohibits players and personnel from gambling in any manner while with the team or at league facilities. League facilities meaning buses, planes, team hotels, practice facilities, you get it. Perhaps the NFL needs to provide some more clarity to their players on the rules of gambling on other sports, but they shouldn't have to say, don't gamble on NFL games. That's just common sense. NFL players also need to take some important responsibility, but one thing that's sometimes ignored is how nefarious gambling is. A lot of these guys are raking it in. They don't need the money to survive. The thing is, gambling is incredibly addictive, and these people are exposed to that life basically 24/7. I actually think the NFL will eventually be sued by a suspended player, but until the rules change, hopefully NFL players are smarter in the future and follow the NFL's gambling rules instead of risking the futures they've really sacrificed so much for. With more states not only legalizing but fully embracing gambling in many forms, the NFL is pushing their gambling agenda in an effort to make even more revenue for the league. Broadcasts have changed in recent years to even talk about spreads, over-unders, and player props during the game. It's important for the integrity of the game that the NFL cracks down on betting, even if it's just because of the perceived chance of something going afoul. I think everyone remembers the story of Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref who was found not only to have bet on games, but actually to have engaged in game fixing. I understand the appeal of gambling and why it adds excitement to the game for some people, but the last thing you want is to find out a player is tampering. I do, however, feel like the NFL goes too far in making complete blanket prohibitions about players gambling on other sports. Like, some suspensions from the NFL just don't seem fair. Here's my radical idea though. Don't discourage players from betting, encourage it, but they can only bet on their own team to win. Now that would add some flavor to the game. For real though, it feels like every sport right now is completely inundated by gambling. The NHL, I don't want to say it's unwatchable, but it's reached NFL levels of just gambling in your face every moment. Let me know your thoughts on gambling and everything we talked about in this video below.